When selection fever hits hard, escaping the trap of obsessing over nationals. Every shooter, at some point, has stood on the firing line thinking, if I can just make it to nationals, everything will fall into place. The heart races faster than the shot rhythm. The brain becomes a scoreboard before the match even begins. You visualize the podium, the qualification list, the name in bold, but forget the single most important thing, the next shot. This invisible pressure is what I call selection fever, and it has silently ruined more matches than bad lighting or faulty equipment ever could. What most shooters do not realize is that this obsession does not appear overnight. It starts with a small comparison of scores with a peer, then grows into emotional attachment to one's identity as a national-level shooter, and finally turns into an unstoppable fear cycle. The desire to prove one's worth becomes stronger than the love of shooting itself. This slow transformation changes motivation from joy to anxiety, from learning to chasing. This is primarily a psychological and process-related problem. The shooter's mental energy shifts from the present process, sight alignment, trigger, follow-through, to future results, scores, ranking, selection. The focus is hijacked by outcome-based thinking. Why it arises? Because selection equals validation. Every shooter wants recognition, opportunity, and belonging, but when that desire turns into obsession, it clouds performance, increases anxiety, and reduces body-brain coordination. When a shooter's brain becomes obsessed with selection, the amygdala, which controls emotions, becomes overactive. This leads to higher cortisol levels, causing tense muscles, shallow breathing, and an unstable hold. Simultaneously, dopamine levels drop, resulting in loss of enjoyment and lower motivation. The body stays in a fight or flight mode, which is disastrous for the precision and calm required in shooting. Technical impact. When obsession grows, fine motor control is compromised. Sight picture trembles, and the trigger feels heavier than usual. Scat traces start showing longer hesitation loops, increased wobble before release, and delayed shot timing. Typically, shooters lose 5 to 10 points in a 60-shot match just from overthinking. Grouping shifts unpredictably, often low left or low right due to early trigger breaks. The physical symptoms often mirror the mental ones. Shoulder stiffness, wrist tightness, and uneven leg pressure appear without the shooter noticing. The neck and trapezius muscles become rigid, breaking the fluid posture that good balance demands. Shallow breathing creates micro-instability, making the sight alignment harder to sustain. Psychological impact. The mind enters a cycle of, what if I don't make it? Stress hormones rise, causing micro-shakes, shallow breathing, and loss of emotional control. The shooter starts checking scores mid-match, losing rhythm and patience. Long-term, this leads to fear of competition, burnout during key selection trials, doubt in training progress despite improvements, emotional fatigue and poor recovery between matches. The overthinking brain constantly jumps ahead, visualizing results, comparing cutoffs, and replaying fears. It becomes impossible to enjoy the shot. This psychological noise breaks rhythm and disconnects the shooter from the present moment. Signs that a shooter is obsessing over selection: frequently checking rankings, calculating required cutoffs, and comparing with peers. Loss of training joy, sessions feel like tests. Over-monitoring scat, noctel traces and focusing on the smallest errors with panic. Shooting diary filled with, I must score 620 plus, instead of, focus on hold and follow through. To distinguish it from normal motivation, healthy motivation energizes, obsession drains. The difference lies in whether you feel uplifted by your goals or trapped by them. Coaches and parents can often see this shift through the shooter's body language. There is restlessness in posture, stiffness in movement, and an absence of playful curiosity. Why this obsession grows? It usually begins when the environment reinforces results more than learning. Parents and coaches sometimes unknowingly feed this obsession by saying, "This is your only chance," or, "You have to prove yourself this year." Such well-meant encouragement turns into pressure that narrows focus and kills creativity. Leaderboards displayed frequently in academies or constant peer comparisons push the mind toward ranking rather than rhythm. The brain starts treating every training session as a qualification trial, which triggers threat-based motivation. Physical fixes. Use slow breathing drills before every match. 5 cycles of deep belly breathing reduce cortisol and stabilize heart rhythm. Ensure your stance and grip are relaxed. Obsessive thoughts create unconscious muscular tension, particularly in shoulders, neck, and forearms. Revisit sight alignment during dry fire and stabilize your quiet eye moments before each shot. Include gentle stretching and relaxation after each training session. The goal is to release stored muscular tension before it builds into chronic fatigue. Practice single leg balance drills with eyes closed to improve proprioception under mental stress. Technical corrections. Conduct scatter noctel analysis focusing only on pre-shot hold and shot release timing. Set, process goals, like steady front sight or smooth trigger, instead of target score goals. Simulate match pressure weekly. Time yourself, add audience noise, and learn to function despite distractions. Study your trace data deeply. Obsession typically shows longer hold durations, multiple micro-corrections, and late releases. These hesitations reflect inner fear. Train to break the shot within your optimal hold window. Mental remedies. Create a reset routine after every shot. Exhale, visualize, align, execute. Practice journaling at night. Write what you learned, not what you scored. Self-talk phrases like, focus on what's in your control, re-anchor your attention. Visualization should include your ideal match rhythm, not your final score. For advanced shooters, practice cognitive diffusion by observing negative thoughts instead of fighting them. When the mind says, what if I do not qualify? Simply reply internally, that is a thought, not a fact. Pair this with controlled breathing ladders, such as inhaling for 4 counts and exhaling for 8 or 10 counts, to calm the nervous system before a match. Basic drills, for beginners at home. Mirror holding for 10 minutes daily focusing on facial relaxation. 3-minute box breathing cycles to calm nerves before dry fire. Write 3 process affirmations every morning such as, I enjoy every shot. Add light coordination exercises like shoulder rolls and hand squeezes between dry fire sets to keep the body relaxed. Intermediate drills, for range practice, 10-shot simulation with full match ritual. Evaluate rhythm, not points. Practice abort drills, deliberately stop when your mind jumps to outcome thoughts. Add mild distractions like music or crowd sound to build focus resilience. Record a short post-training reflection. Was your focus internal, process, or external, score? Awareness is the first step to breaking obsession. Advanced drills, for competition shooters and coaches, simulated finals under observation. Learn to breathe through adrenaline. Eye tracking and scat synchronization drills to identify stress delays. Pre-match guided visualization audio focusing on calm intent, not selection anxiety. Use performance anchors such as a keyword, steady, smooth, before each shot to center the mind. Practice finals with live scoreboards visible to desensitize yourself to public performance pressure. Physical fitness add-on, core stability, neck mobility, and single leg balance to maintain composure during long finals. Mind-body routines like yoga or tai chi twice a week for nervous system balance. Combine this with short relaxation walks in nature to clear mental fatigue. Under ISSF rules, qualification pressure has increased due to tighter match timings and finals restructuring. Shooters now get 75 minutes for 60 shots, meaning overthinking wastes precious time. The new decimal scoring system rewards consistency, not bursts of brilliance, hence mental stability becomes more crucial than ever. The key is to manage time and emotions efficiently within these constraints, not let anxiety about national cutoffs consume your available energy. Also note that the visibility of live scoring during finals can magnify anxiety. Shooters must train to ignore the monitor consciously. Practice monitor awareness drills, where you glance once at the display and refocus instantly on your breathing rhythm. A 17-year-old air rifle shooter was scoring 6.24s in practice. As national trials approached, her focus shifted completely to rankings. In competition, she began overanalyzing after each 10.3, fearing it would not be enough. Her scat trace showed repeated late releases and increased hold times. She ended with 616. The skill was still there, but the mind was not free. Once she switched to a process checklist instead of score chasing, her average rose back to 623 plus. Another shooter, deeply attached to making the finals, would constantly tighten his shoulder every time he imagined missing qualification. Over time, his stance alignment drifted, causing rightward group shifts. After he started a mindfulness-based shooting routine and practiced nightly decompression breathing, his shoulder tension disappeared and his hold pattern became stable again. Breaking obsession requires reprogramming the mindset gradually. Detox phase, 2 weeks, no talk of selection or ranking. Focus purely on enjoying each shot. Rebuild phase, 3 weeks, redefine success using process metrics like smooth trigger release and stable NPA. Reintegration phase, 4 weeks, reintroduce pressure simulations while maintaining emotional calm. Shooters should also manage environmental triggers like social media comparisons, late-night score discussions, and lack of rest. Adequate sleep, hydration, and balanced diet support hormonal stability, which directly affects mental calmness. Coach and parent communication. The language used by coaches and parents plays a huge role. Replace statements like, "You must qualify," with, "Let us focus on your rhythm today." The tone, facial expression, and timing of feedback influence the shooter's emotional security. Calm communication helps the brain stay in learning mode instead of threat mode. Add a column in your shooting diary to note your mental state before each session: calm, anxious, or distracted. Over time, compare these moods with scat hold times and group tightness. Patterns reveal how mental states influence technical outcomes. This builds self-awareness and accountability. A wise coach once said, "A flower blooms when it forgets to count the petals." Shooting is the same. When you stop counting scores and start watering your process, your results bloom automatically. Every champion you admire has faced this phase, but they learned to trust their process, not their panic. You cannot climb a mountain faster by staring at the peak. You reach it by placing each foot carefully on the next step. Shooting success works the same way, each shot, one by one, done with peace and purpose. So ask yourself, are you training to shoot well, or just to get selected? If you have ever felt trapped in this loop of selection pressure, you are not alone. Like and share this post with your fellow shooters. Someone out there needs to hear this today. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more such deep insights on shooting performance, and feel free to reach out for personalized mental training, shooting coaching, or equipment guidance. Together, let us build shooters who play free, calm, and confident. Train calm. Shoot true. Trust your process. Subscribe to Horizon Shooting Sports for more real coaching insights.